family, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you had a wonderful week. Please subscribe onto my YouTube channel if you are coming in my channel for the first time, and if you're already part of the family, thank you once again for all the support that I continue to receive. Today or this week we're just gonna be touching down onto how to write your personal book, be it an autograph, be it any storyline, be it a children's book, a book about finance, be it a book about marriage, or anything that is close to your heart. So we're just gonna be talking about how to write your book. So it's an exciting topic for me. As you know, I am an author of my personal book, From GHETTO to Doctorpreneur. This is a book that I wrote plus or minus 2 years ago, 2018. I wrote this book and I published it, and until today this book is a book that continues to humble me. It continues to change my journey. When I started my journey, I could not even talk. I could not even stand in front of a crowd to motivate, encourage people. But through this book, I was able to gain my confidence. I was able to just come and say, you know what, there's more to this book, and it brought a lot about, myself that I didn't know about. It brought a lot of me. Because of this book, I learned a lot, and I got the courage to be able to do the things that I thought I could not do. So hence, a lot of you guys have been asking me, how did I write this book? How did I publish my book? So today or this week, we're just going to be covering about how I wrote my book, From GHETTO to Doctorpreneur. So thank you so much. Let's get right into our topic for the week of how to write your personal book. Be it an autograph, a children's book, a book about marriage, a book about relationship, it's all up to you. So for me, I'm just coming in to give you my hints about how I wrote my book, From GHETTO to Doctorpreneur. Okay, so how do you start? You have all these ideas that you have about, I want to write this book, I want to do this topic. How do you start? So first thing first, I always say you need to start by having a journal. A journal is just a book that you're going to be writing all your ideas. It's very important before you even start on writing that book. Get a journal, organize yourself, ask yourself, what topic do you want to cover? What is it that you want to write about? What is it that you want to share to the world? Is it your personal story, like in my case? Is it something to do with maybe something that you've seen, that there's a gap that you can be able to address? So find your niche. Find that one topic that you say, you know what, this is what I want to concentrate on. So for me, I say I want to write my personal story. I want to write about my struggles. I want to write about the poverty. I want to write and encourage people that, might be going through what I went through. I just want to lay it all out and tell them my personal truth of the challenges, the struggles that I went through to be where I am today. So for me, that was what I wanted to be in that book. But I also asked, okay, fine. As much as I'm writing a book about, my story, what do I want to achieve? When you read that book, do I want you to remain the same, or do I want to ignite and change something within you? And the answer came, I don't want you to just read my book. I don't want you to just relate to my story. I don't want you to feel pity for me. I want, when you're reading the book, by the time you are done reading From GHETTO to Doctorpreneur, you should be encouraged. You should have that passion in you ignited, and you must ask yourself if this woman, if this Dr. NAMBI can write her own personal book, what of me? Can't I also do the same? Can't I just write a book about my life? Can't I just write a book about my challenges? So their book is just aimed at encouraging you. So I just told myself, it doesn't end with my story, but it ends with you. And what are the possibilities that will come out through reading this book? When you finish reading this book, I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be motivated. I want you to start working on that business plan. I want you to also do a book. If you can't do a book, but let it motivate you, to ignite you, so that you don't stay in that comfort zone, so that it can help you to be able to give birth to your dreams. Remember, recently I did a session or a talk where I was talking about, how to give birth to your dreams. It starts by, simple little things that you have to, put in place to say, I want to do this. Right? So before you even start, so have a topic, have, that area that you want to address. By having that area you want to address, it will help you so that you can organize your ideas. Remember, you don't want the reader to be able to be all over the place. No, you need to be able to organize your thoughts. You need to be able to organize your ideas. Remember, even when we were in school, we were being taught these things. There must always be the beginning. Then there's a middle. And then there's the end. When you reach the middle, there should be also a peak point. A peak point is whereby, where you get the highlight of that book. Get the highlight of the message that you want to give out. That peak must also come through. When everything is about to, fall, when everything is about to break down, when you are just about to give up, that's your peak. Because there's something, there's a story there of how you overcame, how you became strong in order to achieve that which you have achieved. So there's always that beginning. So you choose your topic. Once you've chosen your topic, let's say from Ghetto to Doctorpreneur, organize now your beginning, organize your middle, and organize according to your story. What is it that you want to be the peak of your story? Then organize your end. Then organize your thoughts. Organize your writing. I don't want you to start, just by doing something huge. Organize, take it chapter by chapter. My book, the way I did it, I say there's certain chapters that I went through in my life. I went through chapters of poverty in my life. So there's a chapter that I just deal about poverty. There's a chapter where I went through, hardships. There's a chapter whereby I went through a lot of, inspiration. So I talk about inspiration. There's a chapter I talk about how I started my business. And, the same with you. Organize your ideas. What do you want to be in the beginning? What do you want to be in the middle? What do you want to be at the end? My end, I always talk about giving back. It's no use, it's no point for me to write a book if I don't encourage, if I don't inspire you to give back, to sow seeds and help the next person so that they too can become great, so that they too can be able to realize and release the giant or the lion within themselves. So it starts by you being able to work on yourself so you can give that of yourself to others. So start with your beginning. Organize your chapters, then go to the middle, and then after you go to your middle, you go to your ending. And how do you want to end? I always say, when I started with my book, I said I don't want it to be just another book. I wanted the book to have its own uniqueness. As much as you have read my book, as much as you can relate with what I've written, your book, your story is still, your story. So there's no way that story can be, almost like my story. So be able to be unique in your style of writing. You can be inspired. You can try to copy my ideas, but still be unique in your own way as you write your story. That is very, very important. And then it's also important to remember to set time aside. every day. When I started writing my book, I remember I was running my private surgery. I had already, opened my private surgery as a medical practitioner. I was a mother and I was a wife already, and I was running, working from emergencies, going to, also do extra work with theater and all these other projects that I was busy with. But whenever I got the chance, I will always tell myself, when I come back in that business, I take time and then I go, between 10 and 1 o'clock in the evening, I go and I start writing, organizing my ideas, organizing my book, start typing. And then after typing, I give my husband and I say, husband, can you come and proofread and see how this chapter is? While he's proofreading my chapter and we're making changes, I'm going on to the next topic and I'm like already, organizing my ideas, writing down my notes and saying what exactly do I want to cover in the next chapter. So you have to be able to make that time. You can't say I'm too busy, I can't have that time to be able to write that book. Unfortunately, it's your dream, it's your book. You need to make time for it and you need to schedule that time. Once you schedule that time, is to be consistent now in what you are doing. Consistent in a certain in a way whereby once you decide, I want to do every day, I want to do 100 words. Be consistent. Every day do 100 words. And then tell yourself, I want to, start with, at the end of this month, we are in November. By the time I reach end of November, I should have finished writing my book. And it's possible. Give yourself a time limit, you push yourself and make sure that you are able, to finish that book within that time limit. Because, what is the point of you writing your ideas but you can't have a book published? So you need to have it published. Give yourself that time limit, give yourself that pressure. If you need to switch off social media, switch off the TV, but go and work on your project, go and work on writing your book, right? So I just want to show you something. And then also the other thing is, give yourself weekly deadline. You tell yourself, by the end of this week, I should have finished 1 chapter. So let's say we are 2 weeks away from today's the 15th. You tell yourself, every week I'm going to cover 3 or 4 chapters. I don't want you to, put yourself under that pressure of writing, a book that is 500 pages. Start with a small book. Once you finish with a small book, if you're not satisfied, you can come back, edit. When I started my book, I remember I ended at, let me just check. I ended at chapter 9. If you can see, that is chapter 9. That is where I ended. After chapter 9 and my conclusion, I remember we had a book launch. So after I had published the book, these are messages from the book launch. So I made sure that I added up. So these ones are added long after we had already finished writing the book. So I added more chapters. And then once I added those chapters, the book became also a little bit bigger. And then to the point whereby at the end, I even put, for more information, where to find me. You can follow me on, on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube, and you'll be able to find me. I put my contact details, and I put all the pages where I know people are able to find me. So then with the book, you can decide, do you want to have it, decide what cover you want for your book. So for me, I personally went and did a photo shoot for this cover of the book because I just wanted my book to be unique. I wanted it to have that ghetto part that you are seeing. Since I'm a medical doctor, I wanted to go into where I'm in in my scrubs, and then I also wanted to have a theater picture so that it can just, marry the 2 parts of, the 2 parts about me. So the part whereby what is very important, it's just someone that you can appoint to write something small about, this journey of you writing a book. Then not forgetting also to write your synopsis. Synopsis is very important because it does indicate and it talks a little bit about what your book is all about, and that's what will sell your book, especially when your book is in the shops. Don't forget also to write your table of contents. Your table of contents is very important. Before I even buy any book, that's what I always check on, because I want to see what is this book all about. So if you're speaking about inspiration, and then I'm like, okay, it's on page 39, I can easily go to page 39. And if I find it's something that really inspires me, that's how I get to buy the book. And then, so yeah, basically that's how you start with your book. And then also don't forget your back cover. You also need to write a short summary about what that book is gonna be all about. So don't forget to do that. And also about the author, you need to describe what is what are you all about. So for my case, I wrote that Dr. NAMBI was born in Rundu, Namibia. She runs a successful business as a medical doctor in Bela Bela, South Africa. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a motivational speaker and a businesswoman. She loves reading, writing, gardening and traveling. Dr. NAMBI is a very humble and down-to-earth person. She's a joyful soul. You are instantly attracted to her character and her joy for life through her trademark laughter. Step in and feel the change in her journey of from ghetto to doctorpreneur. So that's why I say, you need to make it unique for yourself. So find something that, you can write that best describes about who you are. And then not forgetting, so you've written a book, you've done everything, you've written your chapters, you've written your synopsis, you've written your table of contents, you've written your ending, you've written, how you want to organize your book. You need to still commit to finish writing that book. Once you finish writing that book, then you need to either get a team that will help you. For me personally, there's a team that I was connected to, and this team, they specialize in publishing books, so they are also able to design everything. So they design for me everything. And a big shout out to Rich Publishers. You can reach them, you can contact them, and you can Google them. Rich Publishers, they are based in Durban, South Africa. So I was able to contact them. They were able to edit my book, proofread my book. They were able to give me feedback on the changes that I needed to do. They were able to give me all the context of anything that I wanted in order to make this book to be a successful book. The package they gave me was an affordable package, and I was able to afford to pay for that package. And in that package, I was also able to receive free books. I think there were about 25 or 50 books, between 25 and 50 books. So those are the books that I started with when I launched my books. Those are the books that I started to sell, and on that first day when we launched my book, all the books were sold out. So that just shows you that it's possible to still become a successful author, but you need to put in the hard work. You need to put in, from staying up late, from staying motivated, from finishing your book, from starting writing, from being motivated, inspired to do the work, and being consistent until you reach the end. Once you are at the end, you will be able to see the results. And even once you've reached the end, you've published your book, doesn't mean now that you must relax. There's still work that you need to put in. I always say, if I don't promote my book, who else will promote my book? There's nobody. So you still see me, I talk about my book from Ghetto to Doctorpreneur. You still see me, I wear t-shirts. If you can see, this t-shirt is from Ghetto to Doctorpreneur. So it's a t-shirt that I use when I'm going for my outreaches. I'm doing all these things that are connected with my book. Remember, this is my brand. So everything that connects about it, I sell my book on my own. I sell some of the books in the shops that are in my towns, and all of that. I'm driving this book so that whenever I get an opportunity, I can get this book out to as many people as possible. Because this book, as much as it's a success, it's not meant to be kept in my house. It's meant to go out there. So so that you can go and inspire the next writer, you can go and inspire the next ghetto child that's about to give up. So please be able to be consistent in, the process of writing the book, and you will thank yourself one of the good days when you have actually published and have written a book. It's possible, but you need to put on the hard work. So my top tips on how to write a book: be consistent, do your research, find out what exactly that you want to concentrate on, what is your niche, what encourages you, what motivates you. Set the time aside every day or every night, or early morning. Set some time, be it 1 hour, 2 hours, you just concentrate on writing that book every day. Give yourself a time frame. Be able to put your book out there, on Amazon and all these electronic platforms that we have, so that the book is there and people that are not in your same country can still be able to reach and get, electronic copies. And not also forgetting that you need to create a blog. You have seen, most of you will know me. I have, my personal page, From Ghetto to Doctorpreneur. It's on Facebook. I also have Dr. NAMBI page on Instagram, where I talk about, my journey of From Ghetto to Doctorpreneur. I talk about my books. I talk about my struggles. I talk about, all these things that I have overcame. Not only that, even on YouTube, I use it as a platform. Whenever I'm, giving the talks, I'm giving the motivational talks, I also share that journey so that you get to see what is From Ghetto to Doctorpreneur all about, because it's stories that inspire, that ignite the passion in you, so that you don't look down on yourself. Because as much as you might look and say, this is not for me, each and every one of us, we each have a story in each and every one of us. And mind you, that story needs to get out. That story has not been meant that it must just die. Whatever you're going through, write about it. Tomorrow, that will be something that your children, your grandchildren, they can read about. That can be your legacy. They can say, you know what, Mama went through this, but Mama was able to overcome. And this is what, came out from this process of her writing the book. So don't worry. Write that book. Take the first step. Inspire yourself, encourage yourself, motivate yourself, and start that process of writing that book, because that book in the end will serve and will help next generations that are coming in the future. And then don't forget, the support system is still very important. If you do have, a family, if you do have a husband, a partner, or even a friend that you trust, that can give you their honest opinion, make use of that friend and ask them to really give you, a true reflection of what this book is all about, and take that feedback. As much as it might hurt to have someone tell you, no, your book is not good, but be able to take in that feedback and say, I'm gonna work with this. I'm gonna make sure, this book becomes, there's something good can come out of this book. And it's possible you can become a published author, just like me, Dr. NAMBI, who came from the ghetto with nothing. I was able to write my book. I was able to sell more than, if I'm not mistaken, we've already sold more than, if not 100, it's 150 copies of the book that we've sold already. So anything is possible, and for me, my journey hasn't ended yet, and I believe God has still more in store for us. So, I am just here to encourage, motivate you, so that you put your pen down and start writing that story. Start believing in yourself. Don't wait for nobody. Don't wait for anyone to come and, do your story on your behalf. You know how you want to narrate and tell your story. So go ahead, give yourself that first like, and start writing that book. Tell us more why we need to hear your story, because your story cannot die with you. Your story needs to come out and be able to inspire the world, be able to give hope to the world. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this, journey of, writing my personal book, my personal experiences, my book, which is called From Ghetto to Doctorpreneur, is still available on Amazon. You can just type Dr. NAMBI, or you can type the full name, From Ghetto to Doctorpreneur. If you are not based in South Africa, you will be able to get copies of my book on that platform. I thank you very much for allowing me into your space. I hope you are encouraged. Please do share your feedback on my blog. Please do share also, if you've learned something, if there's something more that you want me to elaborate more about my journey as an author, please do share, and I will be able to encourage you. I will be able to reach out to you, and I will be able to encourage you so that you also can become a published author. Thank you so much, Dr. NAMBI. Loving you, appreciating you, and everything that you are doing in my life. Thank you so much for all of you who have supported my journey and bought yourself copies of my book. I appreciate. Please don't keep that book in your shelves. Be able to share it with someone that will be able to benefit from the Ghetto to Doctorpreneur book. Thank you so much. Dr. NAMBI signing out.